Reading comprehension. Whether something is art is likely a matter of opinion. Art that most people consider to have no intrinsic value can contain a great treasure of idea and invention to someone who sees something special in it. Style in all the arts range over a wide spectrum. Some good art is aesthetical, encouraging, and easy to understand. Other works are strong forms totally out of context to everyone but the artist. One artist portrayal of an everyday object such as a bouquet of flowers might be grounded in realism and easily recognizable. Another painter's depiction of the same bouquet might be very abstract, resembling flowers only in the artist's mean regardless of the artist's approach. The best art reveals new dimension of experience and look at the world from a fresh perspective. Reading comprehension. The creators of grammar. No student of a foreign language needs to be told that grammar is complex by changing word sequence and by adding a range of auxiliary verbs and suffixes. We are able to communicate variation in meaning. We can turn a statement into a question, state whether an action has taken place or is soon to take place, and perform many other word tricks to convey subtle difference in meaning. Nor is this complexity inherent to the English language. All languages, even those of so-called primitive tribes, have clever grammatical components. The correct pronoun system, for example, can distinguish between you and I, several other people and I and you, another person and I. In English, all these meanings are summed up in the on crude pronoun we. Grammar is universal and plays a part in every language, no matter how widespread it is. So, the question which has baffled many linguists is who created grammar. At first, it would appear that this question is impossible to answer. To find out how grammar is created, someone needs to be present at the time of a language creation. Documenting is emergency. Many historical linguists are able to trace modern complex language back to earlier language, but in order to answer the question of how complex languages are actually formed, the researcher needs to observe how languages are started from scratch. Amazingly, however, this is possible. Some of the most recent languages evolved due to the Atlantic slave trade. At that time, self from a number of different ethnicities we were forced to work together under colonialism. Since they had no opportunity to learn each other's language, they developed a makeshift language called a pidgin, a string of words copied from the language of landowner. They have little in the way of grammar, and in many cases, it is difficult for a listener to judge when an event happened and who did what to what. A speaker needs to use circumlocution in order to make their meaning understood. Interestingly, however, all it takes for a pidgin to become a complex language is for a group of children to be exposed to it at the time when they learn their mother tongue. Slave children did not simply copy the string of words uttered by their elders. They adapted their words to create a new, expressive language. Complex grammar systems which emerge from pidgins are termed crows, and they are invented by children. Further evidence of this can be seen in studying sing language for the deaf. Sing languages are not simply a series of gestures. They utilize the same grammatical machinery that is found in spoken language. Moreover, there are many different languages used worldwide. The creation of one such language was documented adopted quite recently in Nicaragua. Previously, all deaf people were isolated from each other. A new government introduced schools for the deaf. Although children were taught speech and lip reading in the classroom, in the playgrounds, they began to invent their own system. Using the gestures that they use at home, it was basically a pidgin. Each child used the thing differently and there was no consistent grammar. However, children who joined the school later, when this inventive sing system was already around, developed a quite different sing language. Although it was based on the singing of the older children, the younger children language was more fluid and compact, and it utilized a large range of grammatical devices to clarify meaning. What is more, all the children used the thing in the same way. A new Srelo was born. Some linguists believe that many of the world's most established languages were Sreolese at first. The English past tense ending might have evolved from the verb do. It ended might once have been it ended. Therefore, it would appear that even the most widespread languages were partly created by children. Children appear to have innate grammatical machinery in their brains, which spring to life when they are first trying to make sense of the world around them. Their minds can serve to create logical complex structures even when there is not grammar present for them to copy. It's really beneficial to be with other people when you're trying to achieve something. For example, when I was trying to lose weight, I formed a group with some friends. We got together to waste ourselves once a week. We went swimming and running together too. Being with other people motivated and encouraged me to eat less fatty food and do more exercise. So I think that was really beneficial. On the other hand, I once got together with my friend to form a study group before an exam, and to my mind, that was a waste of time. We spent too long chatting about our teachers rather than focusing on the work. Then my friend spent a guest dissing a topic I know a lot about already. I have completed a lot more if it spends the afternoon reading on my own. So all in all, I think that it depends on the activity whether I feel more productive doing something alone or with others. The geology department is aware of the problem sorting in the group work and its unpolarity among students. We realize that in some cases students do not contribute and thus gain marks they do not deserve. While stronger students are frustrated at being held back by weaker students. Similarly, is it very difficult for tutors to award marks for group projects, as it unclear who is responsible for each part. However, the department feels that there is a great deal to be gained from group work in terms of self-organization and communication skills. To this end, we plan to introduce a system whereby the group work itself is not formally assessed, but each student will undertake an individual piece of work based on the group project, which will be designed to ensure participation in the project.